bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Bring 'em Out with your hosts, Joel Richardson and Alan Hill.
Hey everybody, we're here at the Sunnybrook Ballroom inside the Speakeasy for another episode of Bring 'em Out. I'm Alan Hill, here with Soul Joel himself, Joel Richardson. Today we have an extremely special guest, a family guest, Deanna Kozak. Welcome, Deanna.
Thank you very much, Alan. Appreciate it.
The owner, by the way, of the famous basement that Joel lives in.
Yes.
Yes, people. I actually get that a lot. People ask me, they're
What?
like, "Oh, they're like, it's your basement." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You can
Not to brag.
you can congratulate Joel on buying all of this, but he's still living in my basement."
Well, we are certainly off to the races. Yeah, Alan, your thoughts?
The power dynamic has been firmly established in
Yeah.
minute one of the podcast.
Yeah, just when you think Joel's up here, it's like, no.
No, I still wake up down here.
Joel's ego gets firmly checked constantly.
Dude, people are always like, "Oh yeah, so I guess you're going to be moving soon, right?" I go, "No." What have you heard?
We
You're
actually
talking to my sister?
we actually talked about it. We talked about it the other day, and we moving somewhere, and Joel just got like very antsy, and he goes, "I love it here." I'm like, "Oh, really? Yeah, no shit." I'm like, "No shit."
This is my safe space.
He's like Stephen Wright in Half-Baked.
Yeah. He got very up in arms about it. He's like, "What do you mean moving?" And I'm like, "Well, you can come with us if we move. I wasn't going to leave him behind. I'm not a complete animal."
What's like a divorced home? I mean, it's like, I'm comfortable here. I'm not going to school. I don't care if you move out of the district, but if we could just,
I don't like change. Please don't.
yeah.
But in all fairness, he's really not there that much.
Right?
Like-
yeah, for sure. I mean, geez.
I mean, he is also in the room.
Joel, we'll be right
Don't
back.
mind us. Don't mind us, Joel. So, Deanna.
Alan and I are just gonna do a podcast, and we'll let you know when to chime
We're going to
in.
unlock the secrets of Joel,
Yeah.
and eventually we'll let you join us.
Yeah. Well, and to break the fourth wall, Alan said, "Is Deanna coming up?" He goes, "Obviously, I know she's going to be a great guest, but is she coming on to promote anything specific?" I go, "Promote? This is going to be another comic roast."
It's actually the opposite. It's something called depromoting. Demoting.
Okay, sorry I brought it up.
Depromoting Joel.
Yeah. Well, CJ Santangelo brought that up when we talked the other day. He goes, "You don't understand." He goes, "You think Joel's got thin skin? He's got to have the thickest skin because that guy doesn't stop getting roasted." He goes, "Every comic, every show, all the time, every single day."
Yeah, but I think that's the best. I think that's the best thing.
I mean, come on. You couldn't have been like, "I agree." She had to add her own footnote.
Right to why it's good and more. I love it.
Okay.
Go, Deanna.
Deanna, your thoughts.
Let's
Because
just
you don't
ignore
have to
what
say
Joel
that.
just said, and let's
Alan,
all listen to me.
You don't got to say your thoughts because exactly what she's thinking is what she's saying. She doesn't have the ability to filter ever.
It's funny because you ever wonder, like,
She's got a nice dress, and that's where it ends.
yeah, I know.
You look lovely.
You always wonder, like, people look at somebody and be like, "Oh, were they always that way?" Like, I don't think anybody ever looks at me and goes like, when she was younger, she was probably like in band or like book club or like nice things.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think they know.
Yes. Yeah,
I don't think I keep them guessing.
No, you give it a solid impression of.
I think I have always what's in my mind comes out of my mouth.
Yes,
I
Yeah.
love that,
100%.
man.
Yeah.
Because
Love that.
whenever people were like, "Oh, are you Joel's sister in school?" And she'd be like, "Yeah." Then she was the opposite. I paved this nice road. I was like,
With gold.
Gold.
Parents, teachers, athletic director, everybody was like, Joel is wonderful, and Joel is so great, and he's so well behaved. And then I just came in with a fucking blowtorch
"Yeah."
and just set it all on
Then
fire.
Came
I
with a
was-
leather jacket and a pack of cigarettes and said, "Check this out."
Yeah.
Exactly. Well said.
Look
Way
what
to sum that
look
up.
what I can do. Light it on fire.
Yeah.
I love it.
So then when our youngest sister Laura came through, they're like, "Oh, are you more like Joel or more like Deanna?"
Which one are we gonna get this time?
Yeah.
The
Wasn't
devil on
good.
the shoulder or the angel
Yeah.
on the shoulder? I
Yeah,
love it.
but some of that, I'm gonna blame on you. Yep.
Please make
I
the
know.
Oh,
case.
because
I
I
like
was
that.
overbearing.
Yeah, I mean that's putting it. kindly.
Yeah.
It's putting it very kindly. So
An older
so if
brother
you
who
wonder-
wrestled and is overbearing.
So if you wonder where
My arms are already folded.
all this started, okay?
Oh yeah. Okay.
We'll start with the party girl mentality.
So before they had metal detectors and they allowed anybody in the school, I would just go in, and when I found out, she was being mistreated.
No. I was not being mistreated. I was a freshman and a senior, a very good-looking senior who may or may not be a doctor now, wanted to ask me to prom.
Oh.
So that's what Joel is calling mistreated.
I would have kicked his ass too.
Well, no. First of all, it was not. I don't think.
Oh, that was a different one.
Oh,
that was
well,
a different,
here we go.
That was a different person.
Yeah.
That was a different person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're talking about two different instances. So all of his friends were, Joel had already graduated. So Joel and I are 3 years apart, but we were 4 years apart in school.
Gotcha.
So I was a freshman.
Matthew McConaughey and
All right.
Dazed and confused.
What do we have here?
So he would come back from
The guy
college.
who won't leave.
It's a
Outside with his
theme.
arms
This is a
crossed.
running theme in Joel's life. The guy
Right?
who won't leave. I
Yeah,
love it.
he won't. He just gets comfortable somewhere.
Yeah.
He digs his heels in.
Nate Bargatze said in Giannis when they were roasting me at Wagner, they're like, "Oh, Joel's staying to get his master's. Is he the guy that just won't leave campus?"
You hear that, Potsdam? We're here to stay, buddy.
Here to stay.
We're gonna have to bury Joel on Sunny
Bring
for
the circle
property.
Back
But
to you, Deanna.
yeah, so he had friends that were seniors, and they would like keep an eye on things.
Okay.
And then Joel would come back, and basically it got around that if you asked Joel's sister out or you dated Joel's sister, like you would basically like get your legs broken.
I love it.
So what else? All my friends are like going out on dates and like we go to parties. So like I was like, well, what else is there to do? So I would just drink. Right?
Oh boy.
I mean, I would just get annihilated. I was like, well, I can't have a boyfriend, so I bet I might as well fill the time somehow. So I got really good at drinking.
Nice.
Really good.
Do you have
Now I feel bad.
Do you have any epic, crazy drunk nights in high school gone wrong stories? I've got a couple of them.
Well,
Is Mom going to watch this?
Mom watches it. She goes.
she does watch it.
She goes. By the way, you believe that things happen for a reason, but also make fun of me that I listen to the Frank Sinatra station on Sirius XM and just happen to listen to My Way. I think it was a sign.
It's so awesome.
So she will, but she got in the car with my stepdad and my mom. They were just dating at the time, and you know when you're sober and someone else has been drinking, you smell it.
Right.
And she goes, "I gargled mouthwash."
Well, and I think the big indicator was that they always said, if you ever need to be picked up, call us
And you called.
at 5 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well that part was left out of the story.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys said call.
Yeah.
They're like, not, and you haven't been drinking. You called us to pick you up at 5 a.m. So, they used to come pick me up at a lot of parties.
Oh, I love
I used to be like grounded one weekend, allowed out the next weekend.
Right.
And then one time,
You lived with Dad for 6 months.
yep, that's where I was. Yep, I was getting there. Thanks for stealing the punchline.
Oh.
You yell at me all the time for doing that.
That's usually my job around here, so
Yeah, well,
I'm glad it happened to Joel for once.
Joel yells at me all the time for that. So
well, let's cut to the chase.
my mom finally got fed up with it. And she was like, listen, she goes, you either go to church or go live with your dad. And our dad was living, our China dad was then living in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, which is like the middle of nowhere.
Western PA. Yeah.
Oh, Western, okay.
Yeah, Western PA. And she said, stop drinking or, go to church or go live with your dad. And I was like, phew. I was like, really don't feel like going to church this morning. So I packed my bags and she came in and goes, what are you doing? I go, I'm not going to church.
She didn't think you were going to take that
No,
option.
I took it. And then she starts crying.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's how spiteful. Like I did when I make up my mind to do
I get
something.
it. I get it. You and I are very similar. Like,
Yeah, and I packed up my bags and I went and lived in Uniontown for 6 months.
Yeah, and the varsity soccer coach in our hometown had a panic attack because they were getting ready to be seniors, and she left the second semester, the back half of her junior year.
Oh, wow.
He didn't know if I was going to, and I was voted captain.
Wow.
I started varsity as a freshman playing soccer. This
So
was going to be
this
my
would be a
senior year.
massive loss to the
He
team.
calls me and goes, "What is this? I hear about you going out to live in Pittsburgh because of a drinking problem." And I was like, "Oh, well, that really took a turn."
My golden goose.
He has a drinking problem in high school.
I hear you going to Western PA because you want to get fucked up.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it.
I was like, "Wow, interesting." So, but no, I came back, and my mom and I were fine.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I think she just kind of gave up at that point.
Just one of those things. Yeah,
Yeah.
teens are tough, man, and bullheaded teens. Like I know I was.
I just kind of always like to have a good time.
Yeah, I dig it.
You know,
Yeah,
I lifeguarded on Hilton Head Island for a summer.
nice.
My mom gave me a credit card, and I spent most of my paychecks on booze. And then one time, I treated the entire bar to a round. And she calls me and she goes, $400 at Buffalo Wild Wings. I was like, "Ooh."
And you didn't get any wings?
No wings to be found.
I go, that sounds like what happened last night.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I was like, definitely. Yeah, I used to throw up in the dunes, because it's hot.
sure.
I mean, it's hot. It's Hilton Head Island in the summer, and if you're out drinking the night before, like,
Yeah,
it's
don't go
brutal.
to the
You're gonna-
boardwalk.
yeah.
Just go right into the sand.
Well, my boss was finally like, I understand that sometimes like you have to go puke, but can you take off your shirt that says lifeguard? on
Where
the
you work.
back? Just take the shirt off, put a different shirt on, puke, and then
And that's an important lesson for any Soul Joel employee.
yes, yes,
If you're gonna puke, take off your Soul Joel paraphernalia.
yes, and then put something else on, and then come back to work.
Don't puke in your varsity letters.
Right. We're fine with it. You have to be functional.
Right.
It's not a drinking problem if you're functional.
Exactly.
By the way, I love the summer dress and martini glass.
Oh, this is yes.
Yeah, because we're not going to just drink it out of the plastic.
no.
We're going to be classy.
No, I
Yeah.
went right back there. I mean, there was a huge line at the bar, and I just went right back.
That's another
and
sign of an
filled
actual
it up.
problem.
Yeah.
If you just take any haphazard receptacle they give you, you got to
No,
do
you got-
the classy
You
shit.
got to do it respectfully.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, as we've been opening the restaurant and expanding, we've been hiring new employees.
Gatsby's.
What Gatsby's, right? Gatsby's Pub. And so her and Laura, our other sister, they go back behind the bar, and the bartender just looks at them like, "Can I help you?"
The one lady didn't say something one time, and I was like, she should probably be questioning us. It was like the middle of somebody's wedding, and we just like we had dresses on, so we looked like we could have been at the wedding. So we just kind of like danced like through the wedding because like the other bar was kind of crowded, so we were like, we'll just go behind there. And she just kind of like looked at us, and I was like, "Oh, sorry." I was like, "Joel's sisters," and she goes, "Oh," she goes, "I was gonna say something." I'm like, "You should probably always say something."
Yeah.
Yes.
When anybody steps behind the bar. I mean, but that, you know what that goes to? If you do anything with
I was going
confidence,
to say this.
people don't question you.
It's like those Wedding Crasher cats that they made the movie about years ago.
Yes.
Those dudes would just roll into high-class weddings like they belong there, and they
Right.
got away with it time after time after time.
If you act like you belong, you can BS your way
That's-
through life.
How do you think I ended up on this podcast?
Mic drop, and God bless you. Good night. Thank you for coming out.
Alan's not even a musician. Right?
Yeah, he's not even an Eagles fan.
I'm not even from Lancaster.
He lives down the street.
Whoa! I didn't tell you this. I told him off camera when we did the Sounds of Sunnybrook afternoon show. One of the people that always comes to line dancing, her name's Carol. She used to come to shows in Royersford. She goes, "Oh my goodness, there's 17 people on the stage, and we're sitting in the back of the ballroom." And she goes, "Is that guy in the playing the trombone? Is that your podcast partner?" And I look at him. It just looked like any other mall Santa. and I go,
Reasonable
oh my
description.
goodness. I go, because at first I was like, where's Alan? Like I don't see Alan. Yeah, I was like, I mean, it's music, great music. And they had a challenge for that to see if they sound better than the Glenn Miller Orchestra.
Oh, shit.
And they did, because they're all retired music directors,
Mm-hmm.
and they're flawless, right? But still, I was like, I don't see Alan. And I go, oh, now I see who you're talking about. No. So they came back. So I went to tell this guy the story. Boy, did it get nothing. I pulled
Blank.
up.
Just blank. Right?
Like not
Nothing.
even a reaction, not even a head nod. He just, and then walked away. and I go, oh boy.
Time talk about keeping that ego in check.
worst.
Yep.
Yeah, and I go, I just, I have the podcast. I thought it was a funny story, and all right, nice to meet you.
So don't ever go on vacation with Joel. So
Well, I mean, where did this?
that was a hard
Well,
left,
first
but
of
I
all,
like it.
where
Let's
did
go.
this segue come from?
No, I got this. Let me
I
take
love
this
it.
from here. So like Joel will talk to anybody. Like he'll go up, tell a story to
Who are
anybody.
you talking to? The
But,
mayor
like-
of Soul Joel's?
Oh, you two could never.
Me and him
so-
would never make it out of the lobby of the hotel if we went on vacation together.
Joel and I went to California together, and we're like in the airport. We're like people have their AirPods in, they're like reading, and Joel is just talking to everybody. And I just look at him and go, "Stop." I was like, "Not everybody wants to talk to you." He goes,
By the way,
"No,
I
no."
paid for the trip. By the way,
He did. God bless him. That
I
was
lived in her
my-
basement now, but I was paying for things back then.
He did. He had a job.
Daddy
back-
was rolling.
He had a job back then.
Tell him about when we landed in California and rented a car.
Oh my God, Alan.
Now, before she tells this story, my philosophy is live like you don't while you're on vacation.
Nice.
Back to you, Deanna.
Well, we get there and I'm like, he goes, Deanna, rented a real nice car. And I'm like looking out of the corner of my eye, I see this like black Mustang convertible. I love black cars. I'm like, sharp, my kind of car.
This is going to be a hell of a week.
In pulls a powder blue
This color.
Nice.
Mustang convertible. He
I'm
looks at me,
gay.
Alan, he looks at me and goes, uh-huh. I was like,
Nailed
what?
it.
Is that one available?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not getting in that thing. I was
Yeah.
like, absolutely not.
Yep.
And the other thing you have to know about, which you probably are, I don't have to tell you or anybody else listening about Joel, is you can't just you can't sightsee and like go do fun stuff, because you always have to make sure when you're on vacation with Joel that there is food readily available, or you have to know the signs. It's like somebody who have to have like their EpiPen ready, like, or like, oh my gosh, they're about to have a seizure, like I gotta tilt them on their side. With Joel,
Seizure.
Like when
With-
a junkie starts scratching.
yes, like you have to know the signs. So with Joel, if he starts to get hungry, it's this.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't do it as much anymore. Like he's kind of controlled it. I don't know if he went to therapy or something.
No, I just have been eating more.
Because the minute he would do this,
Don't
I
let
would
yourself
go,
get hungry, yeah.
I would
Frequent
go,
flyer.
get off. We'll do whatever you want to do. And he goes, Thai food? And I go, we just ate 2 hours ago, but fine. Yeah.
I mean, might as well. We're in California.
Deanna, you just described my dream vacation.
Joel, I think it's time to take Alan on vacation. Food. We went to see one of his girlfriends, ex-girlfriends, whatever. you wanna
You
call
just
it.
say one of his girlfriends.
Yeah,
I mean, that's-
right. Play in the NCAA water polo women's championship.
Oh.
No, I was
Yeah.
obviously younger at the time.
Sure.
Yeah. Actually, last year, Joel's been hanging out at college campuses. Speaking of Matthew McConaughey,
Also, this was 16 years ago.
when Joel's not here and you wonder where he is, he's at local college campuses. So
Scouting the water
Yeah.
polo teams.
Dad's hiding his daughters. They're 18.
I mean, could you frame it a little better?
This was a long time ago. It's 2007 to be exact.
Okay, right on,
It
right
was
on.
my graduation gift from college.
Yeah.
Oh, right on,
Yeah, so
okay.
That's the year I was pissed because no, that was my high school graduation.
Yep.
Because Joel graduated from college.
Oh no. We're doing the same. Was it?
I graduated from high school the same year you graduated from college, I think.
And then you went and then
no, the joint party. What was the joint party? And I got
upstaged
pissed.
you again. No, that was it.
All right, so since we're doing that, Alan.
No. I know where you're going. But I upstaged her because I graduated college the same year she graduated high school. But then she took 5 years to graduate college. We'll talk about it since she's about to be a bitch. And I got my MBA.
Oh, right
And then
on,
we had
okay.
a joint. We tried to
We're calling it an MBA. Okay, so
wait. What was the last
you
thing?
were talking about how you are better than me. That's
Oh.
in case you need me to remind you. That old thing.
Well, so this has been a very dog race kind of sibling rivalry growing up, and
But like I think in a fun way.
no. Well, let's get right to the chase.
He has a soccer state championship. I don't. Like, we remember.
I
little
wasn't even
stuff
going to
like
bring that up. But I was going to bring up the fact that I ran a marathon. And then all of a sudden...
That's where I was going. Go ahead. I'll let you have it. Go ahead.
I finished a marathon, and all of a sudden she's got to beat it. And of course, she beat it.
Oh, I love it.
I ran more, and I never...
I have the fastest family marathon.
I love it.
I finished 4 races and 8 donuts, but she...
And I have done 2 marathons and 1 ultra marathon.
You did an ultra?
Not that anybody asked, but yeah.
What the hell?
So that's where...
That's tough shit,
Yeah,
man.
I was signed up for that race, but I...
Bagged out. He quit.
He might
Is
be
that what we're calling
He
it?
could be the smarter sibling, not the tougher one.
Yeah, I had what they call a little too much weight on the knees.
Dude, that David Goggins guy we were talking about with Sergio, that's why I know what an ultra marathon is, and Goggins is a maniac.
David Goggins was severely overweight.
Yeah,
before he did all.
Before he became a SEAL and all that. Yeah, yeah.
He was abused as a child. His dad, Trunis Goggins. I listened to all of his stuff.
Yeah, he's fascinating.
So we were supposed to do the ultra run that she did. I didn't do it, but then we were training for a half Ironman.
Oh, good Lord.
And that's when she ended up telling me that she was pregnant.
It was August.
Full of excuses.
Yeah, right? So it was August, and I had been running, swimming, biking, just as you're supposed
Prepping
to do.
for the thing,
for a half Ironman, and we're running in
Western PA.
Western PA.
Oh,
middle of
okay.
nowhere. My dad's hometown,
We're
visiting our grandmother.
Our family,
Right on.
visiting Great Mall.
Yep.
Rest in peace. And
Home of killer buffets and overweight people.
Yep.
Sounds like Lancaster.
Yep.
You know it.
I think the most people on welfare in the state of Pennsylvania too.
Yeah.
I think that's another claim to fame for them.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I went to the buffet and saw a guy put his gut on the table. I'm like, hey, buddy.
Wow.
I'm not one to throw stones at glass houses, but I think it's time to stop.
Yeah.
Enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on a run, and I'm like, hey, I have to get this off my chest. I was like, I don't go to the doctor for a couple weeks, but I may or may not. And at this point, I'd already had Olivia and Garrett, and this would have been the 3rd. And I'm like, I don't know. I have to get it confirmed. And he goes, oh my God, Deanna. He goes, what if it's twins? Alan, I shit you not.
Yeah.
And I go,
She didn't react the way you did.
I stopped and I go, why would you say that? Why would you even? He goes, well,
What are the odds?
He goes, there's a lot of twins in our family. Genetically,
no
it
shit. I didn't know. I mean, obviously, I knew this.
On both sides, but
genetically, it runs in our
genetically
family.
on my mom's side, my grandfather came
Where
over.
it comes from.
Have you guys always lived near power plants?
Right? No.
My grandfather came over from Italy with twin sisters, and then he had a 3rd sister born in America that had twins, and then one of the twins had twins. My mom, before I was born, had a miscarriage of multiple births. But thank God, because then I was born.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
thank God. Guys, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
We'll be back right after these messages. Alan, back to you.
Soul Joel wouldn't be here. I mean, what would the world be without Soul Joel,
I
guys?
know. I'd
right?
be fucked. I mean,
I'm just gonna.
Who says thank God or I wouldn't be here?
I'm gonna go shove my head in one of these fake barrels.
What kind of ego do you have to say to something like that?
I wouldn't be here.
I'd be willing to bet too that Joel actually ate his twin in utero.
What a savage.
I might call my mom after this.
That's the thing. That
I got some
happened.
questions. I have a lot of questions. But yeah, so then I went a couple weeks later.
Let's cut to the chase.
Yeah, it was confirmed. It was
On your birthday, August 2nd.
on my birthday.
Yeah.
I'm in there by myself, and she's like, the lady's like, and I'm like, listen, wasn't really planned. If it's a miscarriage, I'm okay. I'm not gonna cry. Mm-hmm. And she goes, no. She goes, and she flips the screen around, and it's heartbeat in this corner, heartbeat up in that corner. Tears. I don't cry. That is probably I can count on one hand the amount of times
I cry a lot.
Yeah, I believe that too.
I think it's like Miracle on Ice, sports movies, Dog's Purpose. When I found out I was having twins, I don't know what the other 2 were. Definitely, I don't cry at funerals.
Okay.
Anything, weddings.
We get the
no.
gist.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough chick.
Anything you're supposed to. Anything you're really supposed to. It's like, no, not those things.
Man.
Yeah.
So how did you then tell Joel he was right?
You might have been the first person I called.
So
Not my ex-husband, well, my then husband at the time. I think it might have been Joel.
Right on.
well,
To
so
MF him to the high heavens.
she's not wrong. At the time, I was meeting my mom for lunch because I was living in New Jersey, right, not far from where we grew up.
Not my basement.
Not in our
okay,
basement,
yes,
right at the time.
that's nice. Important
at,
clarification.
Joel at one time did have 2 properties deeded to his name.
But had to sell them to keep the.
I was going to say, and this is
Keep
why.
to keep this palace going.
Yeah.
so that she could be drinking martinis and roasting me on a couch. God bless.
Life is a funny way of working itself out, doesn't it?
Does it?
Does it?
So when I left my mom's house and before I lived in my sister's house, I also lived in our youngest sister's house on the couch. But anyway, I digress. I'm
You've
meeting.
never seen somebody eat so much stuff from Wawa. If you
I mean, this isn't even part of the story.
It's not. It just reminds me because I
By the
remember.
way, Joel's also pregnant with twins.
We are looking
You-
for sponsors for the podcast, by the way, Wawa.
Yeah. You and Scott, because you could walk to Wawa from from Laura's house, and
Oh,
Scott,
okay.
the chef, shout out to Gatsby's, the head chef at Gatsby's. They used to walk to Wawa, and Joel used to get like a classic,
Sometimes drive.
a classic hoagie, a pint of ice cream, a donut,
Chocolate
and then,
milk.
and then wash it down with not the big, and wash it down with one of these milks.
The one with
Finish
a
it
handle.
all. Finish.
Some call that a daily caloric intake.
Scott goes, "Are you going to
They
eat
call that a
this
fast
all?"
track to diabetes.
But I got to tell you, the last 10 things we talked about, I didn't think they were going to be on the docket. But here we are.
Well, the funny thing is, this came up with Scott
It's
when
not
he
funny.
was on the pod.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it
Because
did
he made
not.
fun of Joel for putting spinach on the subs instead of crisp
I-
lettuce like a proper restaurateur would.
Yeah. It's for the crunch.
So what were you saying? You were at lunch with Mom. I derailed a little bit.
I was
Go
5
ahead.
minutes late. Mom is pacing in front of the restaurant, and I'm like, Mom, I'm 5 minutes late. Would you relax? Takes off her glasses. She goes, first of all, Joel, it's not all about you, which is a funny theme with these two. Keep me in check. Enough with your ego, Mr. Soul Joel, if that is your real name. And she goes, but your sister just had a sonogram, and I have to tell someone she's pregnant with twins. And I go, I had nothing to do with this, and I feel totally responsible. A minute later, she's calling me up. I'm like, happy birthday. She's like, fuck you.
It's not a good day.
Oh, man.
But God bless, they are the best thing to happen to our
right,
family,
right.
man.
It
They,
works out,
they
but-
have such a personality, man.
That's so awesome.
It is the best.
How old are they now?
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are. Have you ever met them?
No, I haven't met the twins.
Oh, Alan. I
Yeah.
mean, just 2 little tiny comedians.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's
Two
so
little
awesome.
tiny Deannas.
Oh, this is great.
Yes. Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to meet 'em.
They have a very, very large personality on them.
Oh yeah, and they
That's
let
so
me
awesome.
know. They're like, if I haven't worked out in a while, they're like, hold Dole, you got a big belly.
They also keep him in check.
I love that, man. I love that. Well, Uncle
Yeah.
Joel's got a stage waiting for them
Yeah.
when they're ready.
Well, they also shamelessly plug him.
Oh, yeah. How do they plug him?
Well, they wear. They had my oldest make Soul Joel T-shirts into dresses.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, and they wear them to school.
Tell
So
them what-
their Montessori teacher
Yes.
came to a show because she's like, Deanna, who is Whole Dole?
They thought it was a Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones
Hodor.
character.
They thought it
They're
was
like,
Hodor.
Yes,
what
they thought it was
choices is your mother making at home watching
No.
television?
Yeah,
Funny too with
they
yeah.
thought the twins watched Game of Thrones.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, Soul Joel. I'm like, their uncle owns a comedy club. And then
He lives very close by.
I also had to explain when James was living there, like they would draw like a family picture, and they're like, oh, don't forget about Dames. And I'm like, and the teacher's like, who's Dames? And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's James. I'm like, it's
And
one
we're
of my
talking, by the way, we're
brothers.
talking about James Mattern.
Yeah.
James
Yes.
Mattern, yes.
Great
And, like,
comedian.
yeah, but I used to have to explain like our family dynamic. Like it's Soul Joel and me, no dad. all the kids.
I'm the
dog.
modern day Danny Tanner.
And it's not a room full of women dames.
Yes.
It's James Mattern, our good friend.
Yeah, James Mattern, who also lived in my basement at one time during the pandemic.
The host of ROFO in 2020.
Yeah.
The director ended up coming to a show and telling me the story.
Yeah,
No
when they-
kidding.
It's
That's
nice
so
to
cool,
finally
man.
meet you.
That is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And what the other thing is that when I would tell a story and I'd be like, "Oh, my friend," I would tell whatever that was, and they go, "James?" Like not that I couldn't have another friend, but
Right.
That
of
is the
course,
friend.
Like, of course you're talking about James. Of course, yeah.
The default.
Where is he? Because he's been living in our basement for the last year and a half. It was the Gilligan's Island of the pandemic. He was supposed to be here for 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Joel said, "Do you mind if he comes and stays for 2 weeks?" And I was like, "Of course." I was like, "He's always welcome." And then 7 months later,
We kept renewing our lease.
and Joel would sleep up in my son's room, and my son would sleep in bed with me. So we just,
Made it happen.
because he was little, so I was like, "Well, you can take his bed. James takes the guest bedroom." And
James got a lot of material out of that stay and Spring City.
Yeah.
oh god,
Between those two things.
Well, this is just
Good
part
time,
one. We're going to have her back.
Oh, many
because
times, yeah.
we could have done this for 10 hours.
Absolutely.
oh for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
This
much
was fun, guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you guys soon.